Welcome to When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop SCL. I'm your show host, Israel Picasso. We tuning live from St. Louis, Missouri. Today's guest is, can you tell the crowd who you are and where you're from?
My name is Kristen Parcus, and I was born and raised right outside of Chicago.
Okay. How was it growing up in Chicago? What type of things did you experience?
I lived in the suburbs, and I had a good friend that had a boombox. We would walk around the neighborhood, and we would listen to Run DMC, like My Adidas and that. We always had that blast on our little boombox. That's how I got into hip hop.
Oh, that's how you fell in love with hip hop?
Yep, that's how I fell in love with hip hop was Run DMC.
Oh, okay. So you had a normal life. You ain't really had too many problems. And you grew up in a nice home, you know, father, mother, you know, gated fences, all of that.
I wouldn't say gated fences. It was lower middle class.
Okay. We always want to, you know, tell the people, you know, what they experience, you know, because people want to know what you've been through. You know, that's what makes you who you are, you know.
Well, I had my first son when I was 15.
Okay.
I had my second son at 16, and I had my daughter when I was 21. So I had three kids by the time I was 21. And when Pox Brenda Got a Baby came out, I really related to that because even though I wasn't Brenda, you know, I could feel what he was talking about because by the time I was 21, I had three kids.
Okay. So you resonated with Tupac.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So let's go back to see how did you get a chance to meet Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, and his family members?
I found out that there was Tupac's Shakur Foundation down in Atlanta. And I went to the 40th birthday celebration. And I went there and Glow was standing there. And I had seen her in the movies and the books and everything. I knew exactly who she was. And I went there and I said, hello, and I gave her a hug. And Afeni was there doing an interview. She went and got Afeni for me. And that was at the foundation. And then later that night, they had a big celebration downtown Atlanta. When I went there, they got out of the car, they came over to me and my daughter, so remembered us. And I just have built a relationship with the family and that was in 2011.
Okay. So who all did you meet from the family, if you don't mind me asking?
I've met Afeni. I've met Glow, Sexua, Mopreme, Tyrone. I don't know if you know who Tyrone is. Tyrone is Shakur's oldest son.
Okay. Free Mutulu Shakur.
Free Mutulu Shakur. He has a hearing coming up on Tuesday, so we gotta pray.
Yeah, we praying that he get released. He need to get released. A political prisoner.
He's
wrongly convicted.
It's been past his time. He was supposed to be released in February of 2016. He had a mandated release, and there began people holding him. They need to let him go.
Yeah, they holding him under. Basically, that's like almost like kidnapping. It's crazy. That's crazy.
I think it's just the Shakur name. You know, it's just it's not right what they're doing to him, but they just
they run deep in the struggle.
Yeah.
You know, they activists, they fight for the people, for our people. No disrespect to all the other people, but they fight for our people, and they've been fighting. You know, and anytime you try to put up a fight, that's what's gonna happen. You know, they're gonna try to cut the head off. You cut the head off, then you know what the body gonna do is gonna fall, right?
Exactly.
So did you get a chance to meet any other celebrities?
I have met all of Naughty by Nature. I got close with Vinny and Kate. I had a birthday party for Park out LA. And his wife and family, they came to my party.
Oh, okay, that's dope. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Did you ever get a chance to meet DJ King Assassin? Tupac's DJ?
I've talked to him on the phone several times, but I never got to meet him. He was going to come to my party, but he wasn't able to make.
Okay, yeah, I did interview him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Okay, this next question I gotta ask you: who's your top 5 artists, dead or alive?
Obviously Tupac.
Rest in peace, Tupac.
I would say Ice Cube.
Okay, Ice Cube, Tupac.
That's really a hard question for
Tretch. Okay, Tretch.
Tretch underrated. He needed his dues.
Yeah, they need to give him his flowers right now.
Yeah. Next time I will bring flowers.
Yeah.
See,
So
I'm stuck in that. You ain't gonna hear no names from me from past 9. You ain't gonna hear that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I want you to. It's your opinion. You got 2 more though.
I do like T.I.
T.I. Okay, T.I. Salute to T.I.
Too short.
Too short. Short dog. Yeah. Oakland, baby. Yeah. Okay. Blow the whistle. Yeah. That's okay. I like that. That's a cool little top 5. That's a cool top 5. Okay. What type of role do you play in hip hop, if any? And what can you bring to the table in hip hop, if you have anything to bring to the table?
I have a station called Park the Brain.
Okay.
And raise money. We the charities like give it to autistic their families for New Jersey. And we do things with fatal kids. We do a lot to help them. We want to do things that are revolved around POC, and a lot of people don't know that POC has autism. And that's why the autistic children and their families in Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, my daughter, she autistic.
Yeah. POC has a big cousin that's autistic. His name was Greg.
Okay.
He used to go get him pies and bring them back when he was a little boy.
That's what's up.
Greg wanted, Pop would go get it for him.
That's what's up. So you really got a chance to get like close to Tupac's family to know these type of things?
Yes.
Okay, so are you still in contact with his family?
Always. I talk to them weekly.
Okay, maybe you can get one of them on the show one day.
I can try for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool to get like Mo Preem or somebody on the show one day.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah. Okay. How do you think hip hop is growing on like the other cultures besides, the African American culture, for as like your culture and your tribe of people?
I think that if you listen to the words and what they're saying, like Pac, I never met Pac, but I feel like I knew him and I completely understand him because I listened to his words. And he wasn't just a rapper, he was a poet, and actor. He was a baby panther. You know that stuff.
Power to the people.
And you listen to what he's saying. You don't have to meet him. I probably know him better than have that. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. My kids are
That's real.
Children.
That's real.
And I feel him when he's talking. I can feel him. I can feel his pain. And it's not just about him being a thug or a rapper or whatever. What I
it's his heart. You felt that heart from him.
Yeah, it's his heart. I have the heart that he had.
Yeah,
I like hearing the stories where he would see a single mother and her children struggling, and how he'd reach in his pocket and give her a lot of money. That's what, and you can't just talk about Pac without talking about Afeni Shakur and her being a Black Panther.
Rest up, Afeni Shakur.
He was without Afeni and Mutulu, because they were his platform. You know, they raised him to make him who he was. So it's deeper than just Tupac. You gotta go back. You gotta go back to the 60s and the 70s when Afeni was a Black Panther. She wasn't just a Black Panther. She was a leader. She was a strong leader. You know. And I've been to where she used to serve breakfast to people in New York, to the kids in the neighborhood, to her nephews and her nieces, and to all the other neighborhood children.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this one thing: they need to let Assata Shakur alone. Leave her alone.
She didn't even do anything.
I'm here. It's wrongly convicting the people who want to go against what you call a conspiracy or whatever. They only call it conspiracy because you're conspiring against what they call the system, the beast, or whatever you want to call it.
They didn't go along with the program.
Exactly. Once you go against the program has nothing to do but try to destroy your character or assassinate you.
That's what they did to Mutulu.
Yeah.
So I'm very deep into the history. And I don't think that I should judge because I'm white. That doesn't mean that I don't know.
No. We all show love.
Oh no, I know. I'm not talking about you. I get a lot of hate from other people. You know, they just see me as a white dorky lady. You know, they don't know what I know. They don't know who I know, and they don't know how I feel in my heart. Because my mom and dad didn't raise me to judge people by the color of their skin. I judge you by how you treat me. You know,
that's real.
What your character is. Because there's evil white people. There's good white people.
That's real.
Black people, there's good black people.
There you go. It's people that act like God, and it's people that act like the devil everywhere.
So I think that hip hop is a way for rappers to tell their stories. You know, I was listening. My coworker likes country music, and I was listening to it, and I told her, I said, you don't like rap. But I'm listening to what these people are saying. And what these people are saying is the same thing Pac was saying. But he just said it in different words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you listen, they're both saying the same thing. You can't just say, well, rap is harsh, gangster rap or whatever. Listen to what they're saying. They're just telling their story. It's just like the country. You know, I'm not real country music, but I was listening to the words. And I told her that's the same thing Pac used to say.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's crazy. So, where can we find you via social media?
Kristen Parcus. I've got a Facebook page, Instagram page. I'm not on Twitter, but it's just my name. I just keep it real. I just like to keep it real.
That's all you can do is be yourself. That's what keeping it real is, being yourself, who you are.
Exactly.
So, do you have any sponsors or merch you want to represent, anything like that?
We do have shirts for Spark the Brain. Like I said, we have a non-profit organization. Everything that I do for Pac, that I do for anything that I do, I pay for that stuff myself. I've never had anybody pay for anything. When I met Afeni, I took my kids down there. I'm happy. I want to pay my way. I want to pay for myself.
Yeah, that's real.
I pay for that stuff. I'm not trying to make money off Pac. I'm not trying to make money off.
Because there's a lot of people out here trying to make money off Tupac.
What I do is for my love for Pac. It's not about money. It's how I feel about him. As far as I'm concerned, Pac was perfection. If he whooped your ass, you deserve to have your ass whipped, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And as far as raping that woman, that was bullshit.
Oh yeah, you know that was a part of the program.
Oh. I've told numerous people this. if that bitch hadn't lied on him, he would be alive today because he wouldn't have been in prison and needing to come get him out. And he was better off by himself, you know.
Yeah, it was the program. It was all part of the program.
Yeah.
Just put it like that.
In prison, he wouldn't have went to death row and then gotten murdered.
Yeah, yeah.
So it all stems back to the lion bitch.
For real, for real. That's real. Okay, I appreciate you coming on the platform. Anytime you're welcome to come back and talk about what you have going on. Anybody you know, share it with them. I'm gonna share this with them, you know, and we're gonna each one teach one.
Oh yeah, just go to Spark the Brain. It's Spark the Brain on Instagram. We have a page on there. And you'll see Fatal's kids on there. You know, I love Fatal's daughter.
Rest up, Fatal. Fatal, one of my favorite outlaws.
Yep.
He
kept it 100.
Yeah, So have you met all of the outlaws?
I have met Napoleon Muta,
Muta,
No, and
Salam Muta. Okay. That's what's up. So you really met the family.
I've met them all top to bottom.
Yeah.
Even the little kids. I've met his second cousins, the nieces and the nephews. I've met them all.
That's what's up. He has
a very beautiful family.
That's what's up.
Strong family.
That's what's up. And once again, free Mutulu Shakur.
Free. He was supposed to be freed in 2016. You guys quit playing.
Yeah. So yeah, we finna get out of here. This is another episode of When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop STL. I'm your show host, Israel Picasso. We out of here.
Thank you.